friends, Dean here with Escape to Gaming. Today I'm really excited to bring the very first new-gen game in review, and that's Need for Speed Rivals. This is a wonderful game. I'm really surprised at how much I love the game. It really kind of slipped under the radar. Not many people have reviewed the game or really talked about it, and I think that's kind of sad because everyone's been focused on Call of Duty Ghosts and Battlefield 4 and Assassin's Creed Black Flag. These are all wonderful games, and I see why people like them or are having a ball with them. But to me, every console I've bought, I mean every single one, a racing game was one of the very first games, if not the first, on every one, including the original 1995 Need for Speed game, which I was ported over from the Panasonic 3DO for the 1995 PlayStation system. And it was a wonderful game, and it's all about driving fast through traffic, dodging cops, avoiding roadblocks, the whole deal. And that's really what makes the Need for Speed franchise great. From day one, I've always enjoyed them. The only one I haven't played is Need for Speed Undercover. Other than that, I've played every incarnation of Need for Speed. Most Wanted on the original Xbox was probably the pinnacle of the franchise, and it was really hard to top that one. Just the open world aspect initially was so new and fresh at the time. The way when you first would see and encounter a cop was very dramatic. The wonderful cutscenes. That one's really hard to top. The story in Need for Speed Rivals is not the greatest. That's probably its weakest point. It's this big, very dramatic. Takes itself almost too seriously. And, the cops are against the racers, and the racers are taunting the cops, and again, each side is kind of down on what they aren't up on, and that's what it's all about. It is kind of nice that you, kind of like Hot Pursuit of a couple of years ago, you can play as a cop or as a racer, so that's one aspect of it I really like. And it's way better, frankly, than last year's offering of Most Wanted. Most Wanted, I think, had a lot more hype than this one, and people, because it utilized the original Most Wanted name, people are expecting more of the same, and I don't think it lived up to it. The fact that you couldn't even control the color of your car was very disappointing. It was a lot of urban areas, very well rendered and beautiful the way it looked, but you would constantly hit concrete pylons and poles and buildings, narrow passageways, hellacious police chases, the whole deal. The handling, I thought, was not near as good and as fluid as Hot Pursuit, or even a game like Burnout Paradise that Criterion did. Now this is done by Ghost Games, which I think it had some of the developers from Criterion that kind of showed the way in it. But did a wonderful job. It looks gorgeous on this Frostbite engine. I can't tell you. I felt like I was playing a PC game for the first time. So it made a really cool game to put in my PS4 right off the bat. I mean, I really was happy that I started the system off with this one. Now I have played a little bit of Battlefield 4 in the campaign, just the first level only, and that's it. But I keep going back to Rivals. So it's a game that, for whatever reason, has kind of been under the radar. Maybe it just needs to be marketed more. I don't know. But I was a little bit bummed out that we didn't get Drive Club right off the bat. It would have been something nice to compete with the new Forza 5 that the Xbox One is offering. But this is not disappointing me at all. So very fluid racing. The drifting is awesome. Some of the best high-speed driving that I've seen. Much more open roads, wider roads, more room to drift. Really fast lane changes and swerving around cars, often the shoulder in the dirt or into oncoming traffic. It has like the perfect balance of pedestrian cars on the roads, but the cops are everywhere. So in this game, you can easily get your heat level built up, and as your heat level goes up and as you drive more dangerously, you can earn more money and experience points, and you can really watch your money and your credits go way up as you do one race, and if you're smart, you go right back to your hideout and cash them in. That's where the only place that you're safe. There's no pause menu, there's no way to avoid the cops other than go back to your hideout, you hit the L1 button, then you're safe and you can bank whatever credits and points that you have. But if you get busted going back to the hideout, you're done. In fact, I love the new share button on the PlayStation 4, and I went to share a video, and I quickly got up and just paused the game. I thought it was paused. It's actually still going on in real time, but you'll have a map that'll come up on the screen. I raced to my computer desk, checked my Facebook thing, came back, and I got busted and lost close to 70,000 points from like a level 3 heat level. and I was really bummed out. So the game is tough. It's very challenging. I would highly recommend playing as a cop initially, because when you're as a cop, you don't have to worry about getting busted. So it really, gives you the opportunity to explore, find many of the wonderful jumps that are hidden, and kind of like they had in Most Wanted and even in Hot Pursuit. There's like speed traps, time trials, huge jumps. You can compare your jump distances to your friends. You'll have a lot of those same leaderboard kind of deals where you see your friends' scores throughout the game, or you can have, which I haven't done it yet because I have to find my password for my Origins thing to go online, but you can race up to 5 people online seamlessly within the game. So just imagine you're driving in the game, you have a little checklist in the game. That's how you advance Need for Speed Rivals, as opposed to taking down other racers and other things that they had in the original Most Wanted. This one you have a checklist of 3 items, and you get to choose 3 different checklists, and each one's different. And one of them might be, drift 100 yards around a corner, and then they'll get checked off the list. Go through a speed trap, at 200 miles an hour, something like 150 miles an hour. Slam into a cop twice, something like that. And if you do those things, you advance the game, and that lets you unlock a new car. You certainly get more points and money for it, which is pretty cool. You also have a wonderful leveling up system, which really is effective. So you have 5 levels of leveling up each section. So you have the car strength, the overall durability, the handling of the car, the top speed of the car, the transmission, how fast it accelerates, and you have 5 levels of upgrade within each of these categories, and it makes a big difference. So initially my Challenger was only topping out at like 130, and then later by the 5th level, I think I was going, over 170. So instead of, or you could take the money and not advance your car, just to do a lot of races, make money with the car without upgrading it, and then save the money to buy a faster car and then upgrade that. So it's kind of neat the way you can play it and level up and upgrade. So I like the RPG elements in the game, actually. Again, I'm waiting to get. I've unlocked, I think, the Aston Martin. I'm about to unlock a Maserati next, and which is I probably will buy the Maserati, and then later there's going to be a Corvette. That one I definitely will buy and upgrade that to the max. So it has a wonderful array of cars. Finally, they brought back Ferraris again this time around, although they're way later. You have to unlock a lot more events and races to eventually get to the Ferraris and the McLarens and that kind of thing, so which I'm really excited about. So this game is highly addictive. The graphics are insane. I mean, it's like playing a PC game. The new Frostbite engine, it shows off the power of the PlayStation 4, and I would imagine the same with the Xbox. Wonderful graphics, wonderful attention to detail with the environments, with rain, with leaves swirling and blowing across the roadway. You're out in the desert sections, and there's sand blowing across the road. It's very realistic. All the things that I loved about Need for Speed The Run and Hot Pursuit, they kind of incorporated into this game, with different, going up in the mountains with the snow, and the wide open desert roads, or the mountain roads following Pacific Coast Highway. They kind of took a cross-section of California's best driving and road sections, and kind of incorporated in one big open world, and it really is cool. So this game is about advancing by, again, checking off these checklists. You choose the checklist to advance, which is pretty cool. You can do it as a cop or as a racer. Each has their own set of checklists. It's not my favorite way to advance compared to some of the other Need for Speed games, but it is very fun. And eventually, when you do go online, which I haven't done yet, you can have up to 5 people online, which some of them can be your friends. So you could be doing your own missions on your own thing within the game, and all of a sudden, someone flies by, and you recognize one of your friends with their name above the car, or maybe their icon or something floating above the car. And you can do a 180 chase after them, initiate a head-to-head race. If you're a cop, you can take them down. You can actually take whatever points that they're currently working on. So it has a lot of really cool elements that for the first time is making online look a lot more interesting to me personally. So I like this new direction that they're kind of seamlessly incorporating online multiplayer with single player. It works very effectively, as well as you're still going to have those leaderboards like they had in Hot Pursuit and Most Wanted, where you can compete against your friends' jumps and speed trials and speed traps and all that kind of stuff. So one of the advantages that this has over Hot Pursuit and even over Need for Speed The Run is you have more open areas within pockets. So Need for Speed Hot Pursuit, you might have a couple shortcuts that veer off. Instead of, you can cut a corner going through like a dirt road or a little state park or something. They're kind of narrow, either invisible walls or fence. Not a lot of freedom within that, but you could practice and find the shortcuts. Some of them were more effective and some weren't. This also has the same element, but they're larger. You might have a whole farm. We can go through the center of the barn, go around the back side of the whole farm, or go between the buildings, between the farming equipment. It's really cool. There's some urban areas, the same thing, where there's a variety of streets and passing things. So even within the race, they have these little green arrows that you can kind of follow, waypoints that'll show you the way on a heads-up race or what have you, or time trial. The problem is it doesn't always show them. Sometimes they'll be omitted and you're kind of guessing where to go. And then once you take another road, it'll quickly show you on your little mini map, okay, you can take that road to get to your destination or finish line as well, but it may take you out of the way a little bit more. So I've lost some races because of that. So it really behooves you to take the time to practice the track first. And I think being a cop first, you don't have to worry about getting busted. So you can actually have more time to explore the jumps, the ramps, the hidden pathways and entryways. There's some really excellent jumps. Some of them are very well hidden. We do some epic, huge launches and jumps. And so it's very arcadey. It's not like it's not like Forza Horizon, let's say, where it's more sim-based, but also arcade. This is a full-on arcade game, but they bring a sense of realism. They have authentic, raw sounds of the Ferraris, of the Maseratis, definitely of the Hemi Challenger. It sounds just like an SRT Hemi Challenger. So I take my hat off. Wonderful sound design with a 5.1 surround I have. I mean, you feel the cops coming around you and cars passing you. It's wonderful. Beautiful attention to detail with the graphics and just the particle effects, the lighting, the weather, the draw distances driving down the coast highway. It's very awesome, very realistic, and a huge improvement over last year's Most Wanted offering. So I love this game. I'm surprised the game, it's gotten pretty good reviews actually. The scores have been fairly high on it, and I validate, Jeff Gertzman liked it, had a couple issues with it, but he still liked it, and he thinks that the PS4 version was a little bit cleaner. It looks a little bit nicer than the Xbox version. If you have a choice, if you have both consoles, you might want to get the PS4 version, but both versions play very smooth. The frame rate is real nice on them. And I'm not sure how it plays on PC, and again, I haven't tried the online, but I love the game. You cannot lose with Need for Speed Rivals. It's wonderful. Wonderful cars, too. Great assortment of cars. The fact that this time around, you can customize the cars. You can go in and paint it purple. I had my Challenger purple at first. Then I added stripes. There's a different array of overlaying stripes you can add to that. It doesn't have the crazy customization of like Forza 4 or Forza Horizon, but it's pretty good. It gives you lots of graphics, lots of different stripe options. I could even have my personalized plate to mirror the one that's on my actual real-life truck, which is pretty cool. Even different style license plates that within their different regions of the world. Each one has like their own county, so you can get a license plate that reflects that particular section off the map, which is pretty cool. So the game has wonderful customization, wonderful RPG elements. You also have a couple special way of a 2-weapon slot special. So you want to have your own EMP to use against other racers. The one I like is you can use as a special one. If they try to use an EMP on you, it basically negates what they're doing and it backfires on them, which is cool. That's one I like. And they also have an incredible turbo, which I didn't even know until I was like 5 hours into the game. There's one of them is like a huge upgraded turbo. It's like a one-shot deal. So you can replenish these upgrades as well as repair your car by driving through many of the little gas stations or repair stations throughout the map, kind of like they had in Most Wanted. Only this time your car stays whatever color you pick. It stays orange or purple or red or whatever color you want. That I like. So the fact that this time around you get the customization is fantastic. I love the attention to detail, the condensation dripping down the side of the cars. In fact, the cars get dirtier as they do more racing on the road is wonderful. You can again use at least on the PlayStation, you can pause it, get up to 15 minutes of gameplay. I usually do between like 8 and 13 minutes of gameplay, which works perfect. Or just do static shots. You're right in the middle of a drift, hit that share button, it freezes it, takes a snapshot right there. You can post it up on Facebook, and it's in HD. It looks wonderful. In fact, for the first time, all of this footage that's within this review is actually footage from the game. In fact, let's watch some of it right now. We can hear it with the raw sound. It captures it really well.
Multiple 1044s on Lagoon Trail, requesting support from any backup units in the area. 1044 just crashed a civilian vehicle. Gonna need a tow and cleanup at my location. Backup now.
No units currently available for backup. Additional units are crewing. Will advise on ETA. Over.
1 Lincoln 6 in pursuit of suspect. All units are pursuing a 1041 on Last Stallion Ranch. Looks like a possible code 3 pursuit.
All units be advised. Pursuit in progress of a 1041. Officer requesting backup. The target is getting away. All units, suspect vehicle has evaded search. Pursuit has been suspended. Return mobile.
So Need for Speed Rivals doesn't disappoint. If you play as a cop, you get 3 different types of cop cars. There's like the regular police car, there's like a special enforcer, interceptor police car, and you can even do an undercover car, which is cool with the lights hidden in the back dash and up on the front dash. It's really excellent the way it's done, and of each body style. So as you advance by following the checklist, either as a cop or as a racer, you unlock more and more cars. You have the ability to either upgrade those cars or just drive them the way they are and save your money and points to buy an even more expensive car. So it's pretty cool. You probably would be better off not spending too much of them up front, saving your money to upgrade one of the faster cars down the road, but I'm having a ball with it. I got that once I got my Challenger, which I love in real life, I'd like to have one. I just put all my money into that, upgrading it to level 5, so it actually could compete with a lot of the faster Porsches and Ferraris that I'll eventually get to later. So it's just a great game. It has a wonderful map of variety. With the mountains and the snow, and there's hidden back dirt roads, and construction sites you can do all kinds of crazy police chases through, and doing jumps along the way. And some of them, if you miss, you crash, you could get busted. The trick with this game is that you have to get back to your hideout. You have these hideouts everywhere, and the same thing with the cops. They have their own special command post stations. You get close enough to it, you'll see a prompt to hit the L1 button. You hit that, whatever points that you have established, it's like it goes back into a main menu, and then you bank all of those points. But it has a multiplier where the more you keep driving and racing, let's say I did one race and I did really well and I barely beat the guy, and then I got greedy, I passed another guy, hit the L1 button, did another heads-up race with a Porsche, took him down, made even more money. Then I'm making like 70 to 100,000 points. But now I'm at a heat level 3, so now the cops are getting more relentless. You can get greedy and try to take on another race, but you might lose it all. And that's one of the things, almost like Demon Souls, that you get with this game. When you lose everything. So, I mean, I get close to 100,000 points. I've done this like 8 times now, getting greedy and thinking I'm doing really well, and I lose everything. I would have been better off going back with 16,000 points, hitting the L1 button at one of my hideouts, banking it, and going back out again. So, and then also your car will get, increasingly more and more damage. Sometimes I forget to go through those repair stations as often as I should. So, it's tricky. You'll be doing really well and then just clip an apex a little too tight, hit an oncoming car, and it can set you back. You can get busted instantly, and now your car is so badly damaged, it won't take more than a couple love taps from a cop to take you out. So the game is really, it's very addictive, and you get greedy with it. You really want to, you keep that multiplier going because you radically increase the amount of points you can make, but you can lose it all, kind of like gambling in Vegas. So, which is why I stay away from Las Vegas and Reno and a lot of those places. But I love this game. If you're sitting on the fence, you just don't know if it's a good game or not, please get the game. You'll love the game. I've had so much fun with it. I'm waiting to see more and more reviews on it because there's very little out on the game. I'm really surprised. It's just one of those games it's a launch title for the new next-gen systems, or now the new-gen systems, but it just hasn't got a lot of marketing or advertising for whatever reason. So I highly recommend Need for Speed Rivals. It's done very, very well. Wonderful graphics, incredible, impeccable sound design, and excellent selection of cars, including finally bringing back a lot of the Ferraris, which they haven't had in years in Need for Speed games. And the cop cars are brutal and very realistic, the way they sound with all the sirens and with all the doodads on them visually. Very, very cool. At least I don't know how it is on the Xbox One, but it's on 1080p. In fact, all 4 games that I have for my PlayStation 4, all of them so far, which I've tested out at the beginning of every one of them, they're all on 1080p and look fantastic on the PlayStation 4. I do like the new share button. It's really cool for sharing on Twitter or Facebook, a screenshot, or even up to, like I said, up to 15 minutes of video clips. I'm not into the whole Twitch thing, but apparently with a PS4 at least you can actually do live streaming through Twitch with it. It has an app for that if you want to do that, which is fine. So I'm having a ball with the game. And I think finally, I don't know much about Ghost Games and what their future will be, but they're off to a really good start. This is a wonderful entry. The driving is the best I've seen in years. I mean, I like Need for Speed Shift because it was kind of more like Forza with a realism. Need for Speed The Run was kind of like between Shift and probably the original Most Wanted. And this one kind of brings back the wonderful high-speed drifting and more fun driving, I think, as they had in Hot Pursuit. So you can't go wrong with this game. I give it a very high score if I was forced to, and you'll love it. So anyway, that's my first review. I hope you enjoyed it. I love everything about the game. I can't wait to see what this Ghost Games does next. I'm hoping we'll get another wonderful Need for Speed entry next year as well. I'll certainly welcome any new ideas that come up with. So they're off to a wonderful start. I see a lot of people enjoying this game quite a bit. So again, thank you for watching and enjoy those games.